Boom.
Hello, hello.
Hi.
How are you doing, guys?
How is everybody? Chat is on fire already. There's been awoo and wolves and play launching today and boom.
And everything going on.
Meow meow. So, and we also have people tuning in from. Should I start calling it X after all? I don't know.
From X, yes. You
From
should.
X. Okay, let's do Elon the favor. I'll be calling it X. Sometimes Twitter, probably.
No,
So
it's a joke. It's a joke.
no, that was Forest Lair. I don't know. I don't know how, but would you launch a token today, Santiago? Would you launch a token today?
Um, I think I will launch a token today.
You would. Okay, let's do that.
Let,
Not
let,
play.
let's launch it. I mean, I guess well, this is a personal opinion, of course, but I guess we can reach 90k Bitcoin. That will be the best, in my humble opinion.
The best. Well, the best would be a new all-time high. That would be the best.
Could be. I mean, I guess when we are on all-time highs, altcoins do not get as much traction because all the volume is on Bitcoin.
Okay.
The best is when Bitcoin is doing a little bit of ranging from a couple. I mean, doing ranging after doing an all-time high. That's where volume flows to altcoins. So I guess that, in theory, that will be the best moment. Not really all-time highs for Bitcoin.
Okay, let's check the altcoin season indicator, the altcoin season index on CMC.
That's how
We're at,
rumors get started.
we're at 15. That's close to a yearly low. The low was 13, which was a few weeks back. So yeah, we're not there.
Let's launch Santiago token today. Actually, you know which token launch, and I talk about it during the Wombat University stream? The Prompt token. So if you
So
actually did the task I told you about, you should have won at least $100 to $200.
what?
So I hope you did it.
Easy money for everyone.
That was easy, guys. Like I told
Reinvest it
you,
all
prompt
into
is easy.
Dungeon Master.
It took you less than 1 month to farm it and get the airdrop. And I hope you did it.
I didn't. I
You
also didn't
weren't
watch
in
the
the
stream.
stream. I also
Yeah.
send you prompt. So yeah.
Yeah,
Report.
you keep sending me stuff. Thanks.
Yeah, you would have been $100 richer if you did it.
Yeah, I probably would have bought more dungeon items stuff.
Shame, disappointment. That's what I have for you.
But you also told me that Prompt wasn't looking that good when it launched last week.
It reached an all-time high, like the day after I told you it wasn't looking good. Then right now I think it is in price discovery. I'm not sure. You got it? Nice, man. I'm proud.
So there's real value in watching these streams. Not maybe when I'm here, but when Santiago is here.
You got sold with it. That's amazing. I love it.
Saul. Better call Saul, right?
Better course. Better Call Saul. What else did I promote? I can't remember. Oh, the arena Zero G. Zero G is also going to cook, guys. I assure you.
You're so influencer like. You're so creator like. It's gonna cook.
It's going to cook.
Nice. Still better
Still
than
better
Gun
than
Token.
Gun Token.
Gotta say, Gun has been doing okay. So we're at 5 cents, 5.1 cents. That's could have gotten a lot worse. But obviously
Oh, we lost him.
the float is very small, so that they launched.
We're losing you.
You good?
Or are you losing me?
No, you're not.
You're lagging.
I think it's me. I think I need to close some more tabs.
Webby said no.
It's
I don't
not
know
my
no
connection.
to what, but no. Oh, this one is interesting. P is actually still holding up pretty well. Knew it wasn't going to sustain those initial. Yeah, the thing with P or Pi, I have seen that people have been complaining about the KYC. They were supposed to be like be approving some KYCs and some vesting, and they haven't done it. I'm not sure about it. I haven't researched about it, so it could be just a speculation as well. I am waiting to see what the new EVE Online NFT game does. Open alpha this weekend. Oh, that's cool. What is it about?
Well, EVE Online.
No, not EVE Online, but what NFT game? Game is a pretty good concept for an NFT game. That sounds interesting. I saw a video like 2 or 3 weeks ago about one of the biggest battles on EVE Online, in which like 400k in assets were lost because of all the battle and all the frenzy that people were attacking each other. So that's cool.
Imagine that with actual NFTs and things that have value.
Exactly. Entities coming this week. Yes and no. I mean, yes, because we have everything ready. No, because I don't know if we should put a whitelist for the entity to claim the entity. You think
which one?
The one of when we have the outage, so we said we were going to do the entity.
Well, typically you would add that to people, or allow only people who haven't played, right? Who are or couldn't play, who are affected by the outage. But in theory, so imagine that somebody would claim that who hasn't played Dungeon Master yet, they would have a head start. So maybe that's a way of getting more people.
That's a nice idea. Yes,
more players.
I am thinking of making it without a whitelist, and since it is an entity, what can go wrong? What do you think, guys? It's it, but everything is basically tokenized. Nice.
I wonder how well received that's gonna be by traditional players.
What? The entity? This one of FIF.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a player that plays the game because you love it, and then you have a way to tokenize it, maybe you will be against it at the start, like because NFTs have this kind of bad reputation, but afterwards, I think you will see through.
That's exactly my point, right? So if you have the choice between playing EVE and EVE, whatever, Web3 EVE, then a lot of traditional people will basically just say, no, this is crap. I don't want this, right? So I wonder how many of those actually will play it.
True. Will players who manage to play will not be able to get an entity, right? That's what we are discussing right now, because maybe what we would like is to give the entity to everyone. All of them were part of what happened. I don't really like the idea of if you were able to run, you cannot get the entity that reminds you of this moment. Solar, can you speak a little slower, please? Yes, I can.
I think this is quite relevant. Beantown Bob, it's too small of an MP to have an impact. For seasoned players, it should be like that, right? It should not be like 10,000 MP NTT, so that this actually has a real impact for people, because then for newer players this would make all the difference, right? So it's got to be something manageable.
It's 50 MP. We actually already made the announcement that it will be 50 MP.
Okay.
Every bit helps that the woman as she appeared in the scene. 50 MP is 50 MP.
And that's my point, right? So if you're a new player and you get 50 MP forever out right off the bat, then that's actually pretty cool, because you start with 0, right? So
I don't see why they should be punished. That's true. The dog wants you to feed him. Yes. They actually, I got him inside and I closed the door, but I guess he found a window. So that's interesting.
It's always the dog. So I was actually looking for. So I read. What was this? It was a post by Crypto Stash on X the other day, and he was basically ranking Web3 games. And I was like, hey, cool, because I haven't been looking into kind of Web3 games and right, so these rankings that people make. And then I was wondering which of these are actually live and mobile, right? And then there's such a small percentage of them actually being mobile games and already live, right? So I was wondering, does anyone have like your favorite mobile Web3 game, kind of a like whatever play to earn game? Because I kind of most of the time I just play on mobile. I would love to get back to playing games that actually feel like they make sense, right? Just on the weekends, whatever, right? And because when I when I play Bitcoin miner with my kids, at least it feels like they're doing something um, useful, right? Because you can get like on the weekends they have this rocket that you have to shoot to the moon, and you can earn up to what 150 or something like that, 150 sats, which is nothing, obviously, but hey, whatever, right? Kids are doing that anyway.
I guess I don't know if this is a controversial take. I actually enjoyed playing Axie Infinity when it was popular.
I didn't.
It was fun. Oops, that's impossible. What have you been playing, Matt? I think he did on the stream last week, was it? Playing games?
Can you beat Mad?
Oh, he was playing Tetris. I did it once, but not is too good. I participated in one of his streams, but he's just too good at Tetris.
Yeah, like these guys who do this shaking or whatever they call it, like when they tap on the back of the pad. Oh, this is crazy.
I am in love with NFT Battle Miner Shadow Depths. The exploration reminds me of some game from my childhood. Yeah, I think they're still under pre-sale. If you don't know about it, the guys are doing a token pre-sale on Solana. So if you like battle miners, then you should take a look into it at least.
Can you post? You shared the link with me last week, right?
Yes, I should take you. I don't know where I have it. Let me see.
Me neither.
They have raised 50 SOL at the moment.
Right.
I'll send the link in the chat in case you want to take a look into it. And give me a second. I will get my dogs inside and close any window.
So okay, we've got NFT Battle Miner Shadow Deaths, which I've only looked at the original game. I haven't looked at Shadow Deaths, so we'll definitely have to check that out, especially after Santiago told me about the sale last week. Cool, and you can play it in within the Wombat app. Okay, so that's a web game, I guess. And then Master Shin has brought up Friend Pets. Okay, gotta look at that as well. So that's probably some kind of a not monster taming, but like pets game, I guess. Well, I mean, it sounds like that. Cryptia was very addictive. I liked it. I used to play Cryptia for a while as well. It's just that, yeah, at some point it got a little tedious, right? Because you play the same thing over and over again. But it's a really cool game. It would be cool to have some kind of a PvP mode for Cryptia. And Monster Rooms, wow, tomorrow. That was a long time ago. Monster Room. I don't know. I think I played or looked at some very early version, and I was a little skeptical back then. But it's been a long time, so really curious. I mean, the Taco team, they're always doing cool stuff. So, and they
always-
also have a way of improving things when things aren't like super great at the first go, right?
They're a passionate team, and whenever you're driven by passion, then you come up with cool stuff.
So, yeah, cool. More games.
Please create in the Wombat App Explorer. Which one? Battle
Shadow Depths.
Okay, nice. I don't know why I had this highlighted. Doing much better. No crazies on Planet Wombat over the weekend. Yeah, that's true. I'm happy that you guys decided.
Except for the payout, whoever participated in the cash out on Friday in Wombat or One Play, the new one only got opened Saturday morning, because human error. It's so funny that this kind of never happened before, but we got that done very, very quickly. Santiago, that's for you. That's for you.
Yeah, this one. Do you plan something beside the shops like the last minor profession set? Some players asking when. What are we planning? We're planning a huge update, right?
Go ahead talking about it.
So we were talking and discussing about creating a league system for Dungeon Master. So instead of
Probably not a big surprise at this stage, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess this has been talked by everyone a lot of, but we are actually already pretty ahead with it. I think we just need to have and sort out a little more details so we can start production of it. Once we start producing and developing it, the aim for us is to release it on season 26, not season 25, because it is 2 weeks and a half away. But actually, I think we can make it for season 26. The idea is to introduce leagues so we can stratify a little bit more users. We can use this in advantage so you can be more competitive between each other, because right now it feels like you're only competing on the top of the table. Then we will be able to stratify the leagues. We will be able to distribute NFT prices. We should also be able to manage the season prize pool better. And overall, I think make the game more competitive for everyone. The small, medium, and big players will be taken into account for it. I might reach out.
And it should solve all the new player pool
Yes.
extraction issues. Not all of them, because there's still going to be an avenue where you can actually get in the league and dominate the lowest league or whatever league, right? By just whatever, transferring items from another account. But it's not going to be as hard, like as impactful as it used to, and it's going to get really competitive real soon if you want to earn a significant amount of money.
Nice.
I hope.
I hope. I hope.
So there's this leak. Maybe just one more quick thought about the leak stuff. It sounds very simple, right? It sounds very simple that you say, hey, let's just have people advance to the higher league if they're in the top whatever in this league and so on, right? It sounds very simple. But there is so many details to this.
No, it's we have been talking about it for a while.
That starts with how many people, how do you size the leagues, how do you do the payout, do you keep the payout as it is, do you whatever, right? How do you deal with the bonus?
We also have
how do you deal with
the tiers we have for NFTs. We actually want to get them within each league, so we want to simplify a little bit, because right now if you're a new player, then your head is going to explode with everything we have going on.
Yeah. So
actually, I think we can show. Do you think we should show the image?
You can show the image, sure.
I can show. Okay.
I mean, I think everyone's always happy seeing some or getting some alpha, some early, and maybe giving feedback, obviously.
Of course, like, remember, this is a concept.
What Webby is asking, what you consider or class as a significant amount of money. Basically, what currently the top 2, 3, 4 players in the newbie pool are getting. That's already kind of significant when you start out fresh, right?
So this is actually a concept, guys. Remember that this is not final, and we may change a lot of stuff as we go through. For example, one of the feedback I got is, why don't we call this Iron? But I don't really like the idea of calling it the Iron League. Or you like it how it sounds?
Well, I personally also think that it makes no sense that it's coal, silver, uranium, gold, right? Rather than coal, iron, uranium, gold.
Actually, it was Define the Dollar who said it, killing me. That's the reason.
But I mean, yeah, whatever. And then, so I think Webby or somebody else suggested that they could be called according to the pack classifications, right? Because you have Grand, Dungeon, Master. So it could be newbie, apprentice, expert, master, grandmaster. But then
We need one more.
we may run out of classes, of leagues.
I don't know about that name. I want Wood, please. Wood Division sounds nice.
I mean, Iron League. I don't know what your problem is with Iron League.
I don't like it at all. But yeah, I mean, we can call it Iron. I think at the end it doesn't matter that much.
The question is, if imagine, because we had these wood medals, right? You remember them, Santiago?
Yes.
Because that was the first thing that you made, I believe. The wood ones. So should we introduce something that's even more abundant than coal, right? Because right now coal is the lowest. So if we wanted to make wood, that would probably be pretty much as abundant as low value as coal, or even lower, right?
Grass.
So imagine we had wood or grass or whatever it is, or soil, right? Or sand. Should we actually introduce that material in Dungeon Master as well? Right? Because we haven't discussed new materials in quite a while. Dirt. I like dirt. Dirt League. That would be so cool.
And you can do it in the kitchen. That's so dirty. Let's see a couple more things. Comments. Nothing has to be perfect. It can be changed later. The concept is very good. Thanks to the team. Yeah, I think we're pretty confident with what we have come up. Like, there are details, but we know that details can be sorted out. So,
and
we're happy with it.
Also, I suggested to Santiago that once he touches that, he can already start thinking about some related aspects, right? So we've been discussing, thanks to also people from the community, we've been discussing the vault. So the vault touches directly into the leagues, for instance, or can. Then payout structures, the relationship between the points and the bonus, then the tiers, the NFT drop likelihood tiers, all these things, right? Should we be changing that all at once, or should we go step by step and basically first do one thing and then adjust, right, and then learn from it and so on, right? So obviously the balancing will not be perfect right from the get-go. Yes. And then I'll be really curious how, for instance, adjusting league sizes is going to go, right? I mean, that has happened before in like soccer and sports, right? That you want to stock up a league from of 20 members, from 20 members to 24 members, right? And how do you do that? Okay, there's ways. Should there be some kind of an expansion draft, like in the NBA when they stock up teams, whatever, right? So stuff can be thought about.
I love it. How will that work? Also, promotion demotion. How will that work? That's a good one, and one that we
You want
have
to talk about it?
discussed. Yeah, I mean, currently the concept we're working at is that it will work through season points. So the top 5. Let's talk about the Grandmaster. Actually, let me share the screen again.
You really want to talk about the ratios already? Okay.
Not the ratios, but just as an example, so I can use the mouse and people. Can you see my mouse?
Yes.
Okay. So for example, if you want to go from the uranium to the gold league, then we're using season points. If you're within the top 5, this is an example, remember? If you're within the top 5 on uranium for the season 26, then for season 27, you will be promoted and you will go to the gold league. If you are within the bottom of the gold league, the bottom 5 players, then you are demoted to uranium. Of course, the prize pool for the uranium and the gold league, it is different, so you will always want to be on the top of the league. This is what we plan. Of course, you guys always have different ways to play the game and game the system. Maybe you think uranium will be better because of getting more NFTs or you get within the top, but in this case, you will be promoted anyways. So you cannot really stay within a league by your own willingness. That's the concept at the moment.
Yeah, and then the first question is, how many people do you promote and how many people do you demote, right? If you do, like, ideally you would do that relative to the size, so the top 10% would advance and the top 10% would actually get demoted. But then that would mean that the leagues would always kind of change in size, and this would be hard to manage, right, over time, because then if one league is bigger than the other, which is always going to be, right, then if it's the bottom 10%, then more people would get demoted or promoted, whatever, right? So the sizes would keep changing. So the alternative to that is obviously have a fixed number of players who get promoted and demoted, so that the sizes of the individual leagues can stay constant, right? So that's what Santiago and I have been favoring here, so that it's easier to manage over time, right? Because otherwise we wouldn't know how big would actually could the leagues grow, right? You would have to simulate a lot to find that out.
Yes.
Yeah, that is something that I brought up with Santiago during the discussions as well. So let's think about how to make the game more season bound, right? So that there's more motivation for people to actually play actively during a new season than to just rely on what's been there before, right? And reset to 0. Obviously, your points will be reset to 0, yes, but is there anything else that can be reset to 0? And there's been like, okay, let's reset the level to 0 every season. Let's reset everything to 0, right? All the old boosts and so on. Obviously, that's not what we want, right? But levels, that would be quite crazy, right? Because some people, like you, Webby, I don't know, I haven't looked at your level recently, but you've spent a lot of time leveling up. Yeah. So a lot of people have used a lot of XP gear and so on, right, to level up, and then XP gear becomes less impactful later on when you're already above level 100 or whatever, right? Then you don't need that much XP gear because that will not have too much of an impact. So there's been a lot of different approaches here. But what would be cool, actually, if you had if you actually did reset XP and levels every season, then at the beginning of the season people would actually rush to level up, and then later they might actually go harder after whatever contribution or speed or whatever it is, right? But at the beginning of the season, you would actually look for XP upgrades and level ups. So that would be an interesting dynamic in the game, right? It's probably not what you want to do necessarily, right? But there are games where levels, for instance, or whatever it is, points get reset to a certain amount. So we could, for instance, reset anyone in Grand Dungeon Master League to level 90, in Dungeon Master League to level 70, whatever, right? There's all kinds of ways of doing this, so that you don't start from scratch, right? That being said, that is just speculation right here, right? That's not like, none of that is anywhere close to being, hey, that's what we want to do, right? So don't worry about your levels. That's not anywhere planned or so.
Which one? What are you talking about? The levels? People. What? I don't know what he's keep talking about.
Okay. Grand Dungeon Master.
What is that? I won't ask. Okay, thank you for the feedback in that case.
Okay. I may be missing some info here.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. For example, in League of Legends, there's a tier called Grandmaster, and I don't see anyone talking or canceling them because of that. Unless I am missing a key cultural component out of it.
Maybe it's Grandmaster versus Grandmaster. I don't know.
Not sure. It's a chess title. Yeah, I mean, it's also a chess title as well.
I don't know.
I like your confusion face.
And mine, yeah.
Me.
Sorry, I just wanted to answer this question by Yosi. If you was on Gate, should I transfer it to my MetaMask? Can my holding duration be tracked on Sex? If I send my was to MetaMask wallet, will I still get 1 to 10 play? So we're not discussing these ratios anymore, right? So 1 to 10 is, we're not confirming or denying any kind of ratios right now when it comes to the 1 to 10. But it will always be safer to hold it in a non-custodial wallet than in a centralized exchange like Gate, when it comes to airdrops or whatever, right? No, we cannot track your holding duration when you have them when you have them on Gate. So there is no way for us to be able to tell, hey, you've been doing XYZ on Gate with those tokens. So I would always advise you to not hold them. In general, I would not advise you to hold tokens on exchanges.
Not your keys, not your crypto.
That's totally true, but that's not even my point. Because for some people, it's actually not easy to handle keys and recovery phrases and whatnot. That's why we build Wombat the way we build Wombat. But it's exchanges, and I'm not talking about any specific ones and definitely not about Gate, but there are some exchanges that do weird things with tokens that are deposited to them, right? And that's not great. So if you remember FTX, right, from 2022, right? It's already been 2.5 years. So what happened back then with FTX is that it wasn't just FTX, it was also Alameda Research, the investment company run by SBF. And they would sometimes basically deal with tokens or short sell tokens that they didn't own, right? So they could basically use tokens that users deposited to FTX to actually sell them, do whatever, borrow against them, lend them, whatever they do, whatever they did to actually make more money. And that's not a problem so long as it's not a problem, right? So long as nothing big happens or crashes or whatever. But if it does, then it goes wrong really big time. And then suddenly these funds are missing and whatnot. And we've seen weird things happening on exchanges. And also with some of the more recent launches, you could see there was, for instance, a big dip in a token price upon a listing, right? And why is that, right? And these kinds of things. And it should actually price should go up when you get listed. It shouldn't go down, right?
Yes.
So
I have an interesting question.
Go ahead.
Like this happened to me like on Thursday. I have a friend who wants to start storing their crypto in a ledger. In my country, Ledger doesn't send ledgers, and we don't have like an authorized distributor out of here in my country. But there's one that sells in marketplace, and he says that he imports ledgers. Would you trust buying it from this importer, your ledger? And that's what they asked me, like, hey, but this one is selling them, and he has sold a lot of ledgers. And I was like, it was hard. I told him not to. Do not do it. Exactly. Yeah. I told him to not do it, but maybe then I was thinking like maybe I'm being too cautious about it. Because if you don't have a way of getting a ledger here, then what do you do?
Well, you don't use a ledger. You go abroad, buy one in a store, right? Or ask a friend who lives in a place where you have a trusted retailer to send them around.
Can we get the word out to people then to not so many stories about tampered ledgers? I mean, then I'm glad I told him not to buy it. Thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it either. I actually don't remember where I bought my first ledger. I think I just bought it on Amazon. And it's, I mean, how do you make sure? It's actually quite interesting. How do you make sure that you have a real ledger, right? Or Trezor or whatever? Because even if you think you're buying it from an official website, then you may, like, this may be a fake website, right? So how do you make sure? It's actually quite crazy.
Okay, thank you guys. That I'm glad I asked you this. Don't change anything with XP. My advantage I built last 2 years will be gone. My wombat lost his speed. He doesn't want to lose his XP. It was just an idea. For example, another bad idea, or not bad, but it is worth discussing some of these bad ideas because something good might come out of it. So this is what a user told me, and I was thinking about it. What if for everyone you get to choose if you want to win contribution points or you want to win materials?
How is that not a good idea?
I mean, it could be a good or bad idea. That's what I'm saying.
No, I think it's actually pretty good that you don't get both. You have to always choose.
That's why I have been thinking about it, but I want to get the people opinion.
Oh, that's really cool. Because
so
that
would also give some value to materials.
Exactly, that would immediately make materials much more valuable. It's going to be an interesting transition from one to the other, because at the beginning, a lot of people who have hoarded a lot of resources, materials, and there were some questions around that I start, which we'll get back to them. But this is really nice. This is a really nice idea, and it's a very simple change, but it would have a massive effect, right? Because then suddenly you have to think about how you structure, like what kind of NFTs you actually run with, if you run with them, because it's not like an automatic thing. I think that's actually really cool.
People, I need your feedback. You haven't said anything.
Yeah, it's just this discussion about level resets because Webby seems like he would be in favor of this,
He's down for it.
which is actually quite interesting because I think Webby, of all people, is the highest level player. So then there's the usual question that we get so often. If we can sell gold stuff again or put gold packs in the well again. We need to find a way of getting gold back in play without diluting the old items too much.
So this is my idea. We create an entity with a mutable attribute, or it doesn't really need to be a mutable attribute, but an entity that gives you mining power for only that season. For example, a gold entity for season 25 that is coming, and it only lasts during season 25. Why do we make it an entity?
But why entity? That makes no sense.
Because I don't want it to be like sold by people during season 26 or 27 and saying, hey, this is giving you gold, which actually isn't. If you make it an entity, you're sure that this isn't out in the market. And whenever season 25 goes by, then you don't have to worry about people having to sell this NFT that no longer has any effect.
Okay.
I mean, that's why you make it an entity, because otherwise I wouldn't have a problem with making it an NFT.
It could be the season pass that's staked as well. It could produce a small amount of gold.
That's a good idea.
Because I mean, the problem with entities is that, I mean, how would you do that? Because you could basically have as many as you want, right? You're not in competition with your other item. That's what I like about the gold items, like the gold extractor specifically, actually, is that you have to make a choice. Do you want this or do you want something else, right?
I will buy a pass if it gave me gold. That's interesting. I mean, very, very good call, Adrian. I didn't thought about it.
It wasn't me. It was Prince Paradox. I'm not doing anything ever.
Oh, I didn't see the comment. I was like, yeah, Adrian, nice job.
It's not me. I never have good ideas.
That's a good one, Prince Paradox. Nice job. But we should make it an entity. In that case. I mean, the only reason why you make it an entity is people shouldn't need to sell it. I don't want people like to buy an NFT from season 23 because I know people might not read, or sometimes they get too excited too fast. Like, hey, this is giving me gold, and it's only 5 cents. Stuff like this. It can happen.
Yeah, but dude, it's the same with season passes.
Exactly. Yeah. But we don't want to do it for every NFT. Like, I don't want this problem to persist over time.
But you know, you could make them upgradable.
You sounded like a Minecraft villager right now. Like, okay, you can continue with your idea. Sorry.
No, okay. But if it's not an NTT, you could make it upgradable, right? You could basically use a whatever time spiral Wombatium to upgrade it to the next season or something like that, right? So.
But season pass, once you stake it, you can sell it. Either
you can't sell it. Yeah.
Swell it. Hey, Chur, how are you doing? Chur has been helping me a lot with all the data about the leaderboards and so we could prepare the leaks.
So Chur deserves a lot of credit for this.
Chur deserves a lot of credit for it.
So, okay, Prince Paradox confirms that. How many times do I have people buy the wrong season duration items? Okay.
After reset, Webby puts on Mythic XP years and has instant god level.
At least where we would have to grind for it every single season.
Minecraft Villagers mode. Did you watch the movie? Any of you guys?
I haven't yet.
Have you taken your kids to the cinema to watch?
I think they're too young. They're too young for it yet. Because I watched the trailer, and I'm 120% sure they would be scared. And my older son, probably after 20 minutes, he would say, "No, I want to go. I'm done."
How old were they? Are they?
6 and 4.
Could be. Sure deserves a raise. Yes, he does.
100% raise.
I think if we have level resets, it will change some of the meta, but not too much.
I agree.
Too young for Minecraft still, I think.
Not for playing the game, because my older son, he gets along with it pretty well. Mostly he lets stuff explode. So he builds stacks and stacks of TNTs on top of each other, and then he just lights it, and everything just goes boom.
Who hasn't done that as a kid? I did that.
My younger son is definitely too young. Same for Rocket League. Actually, my older son, he wins games, he shoots goals. Obviously, they spend a lot of time configuring their cars and blah blah blah. But he gets pretty okay at it. My younger son, he just plays training because it's too frustrating to watch him play a ranked match because it's so no. He never hits the ball.
I love Jack. Big fan since Nacho. Nacho Libre. Nacho Libre is a nice movie.
I haven't watched this, but I mean, Jack Black is a classic.
Jack Black is a classic. I agree. I was talking with a friend about it because he said, "Why would you go watch the Minecraft movie because of Jack Black?" And I was like, "Tell me one movie that is good that he's in." And I was like, "Jumanji." And he was like, "Okay, you're right." Jack is actually a distant cousin. What?
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 How are we finding out about this way, Pedro?
What?
Exactly. But, pick of destiny. No.
You never asked.
Never asked. Yeah, sure. It's how we used to have a colleague, and then after working with us for like a year or so, he's a developer. He just like, hey, by the way, my cousin, literally his cousin as well. My cousin is in crypto. And I was like, and I think he's pretty known. And I'm like, who's your cousin? It's Roger Ver. Like, what? You're Roger Ver's cousin?
Yeah,
he's
my
not
cousin
like
is Vitalik.
some random person, right? So, and that was in 2018, I believe, when there was like there's still a lot of Bitcoin Cash discussions and so on. And so Roger was probably in more people's heads than he's nowadays. But this was like, okay, crazy.
You never ask. It's still funny.
Yeah. So Santiago, do you have any famous cousins? Even if distant.
Not really. No, not really. What about you?
No.
Does anyone here know, besides Pedro, a famous person?
Like knowing, I still remember when we had this this project. I was getting pitched for whether we would want to work with them back when we were doing consulting in the early days, 2018 of the company, and one of their supporters / ambassadors, whatever, investors, was a famous Zac Efron, right? So was a Hollywood star, right? So we went on a call with Zac, and he was like, "Hey, I'm surfing, and I'm on a surfing trip on Hawaii." So he was just walking around his mansion that he had on Hawaii. And I was like, yeah, well, it's so interesting, so cool, blah blah blah. So we were on a half an hour call with Zac Efron. That was quite interesting.
Oh my god, that's a nice experience.
Yeah, but I know a guy who always tells me stories about him being at Neymar's house and these kinds of things. So it's just so not me.
Neymar sounds like such a great guy. I would love to meet Neymar. I know Adrian Crayon, CEO of the amazing Dungeon Master game.
Yep.
Which is the most famous person you know in crypto?
Like what you mean with no, right? People who you've met before, or people who would recognize you on the street and say hello to you? Because there's a huge difference.
A person that you can DM and say, hey, I need a favor. Or that you can DM and you know they will reply to you.
Yeah. So probably, I don't know, Sebastien Bourget from Sandbox is one of these people, right? Where, yeah, probably everyone knows him, right? A few people like that.
Satoshi Sagan plays on the weekends. Interesting.
There's a lot of people I met before, especially back in the early days, who now are big shots, but they would never remember. I don't think they would remember. I always find it weird when people say they can't remember, because I always feel like I would not. I sometimes I don't remember names the minute that like you've said hello, but I would always remember the people, right? So if I know I've spoken to this guy who has founded this and this company, I would always remember them. I would always feel like, hey, we've met before. They're like, yeah, really?
You know, I'm terrible with faces actually. I cannot recognize people by the face. Like it is easier for me to remember the name or something than the face.
But I mean, if you have a story with people, right? If you know, they've told you about this company, or you've been hanging out in this and this bar or whatever, you met on this and this party, you will always kind of remember them, right?
True.
Faces or feces.
Interesting. Okay, so Sebastian Bourget. For Pedro, it is Jack Black.
Well, that's not a crypto person, though.
But I think Pedro is winning anyways.
Jack Black may be slightly more famous.
Now I can say I know someone that knows Jack Black.
That's good enough.
Yes.
And you know someone who knows Neymar.
And I know someone who knows someone that knows Neymar.
So,
I'm going to open the door for my dog because he's crying so much.
Now we can't hear him. It's all good.
Yeah, but I don't want him to be on the living room.
Okay. So, let's go back to the questions that were raised before.
No Kevin Bacon. This is proof. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah. It's what was that? 5 steps to Kevin Bacon, or what was this?
It was less than 5 steps. It was like 2.
Yeah, but that everybody knows him in like 5 or 6 steps or something.
Now I'm part of the steps. That's nice.
Nice. So Janice, sorry for not coming back to your question within half an hour, but this was yours. Not sure if you touched this question last week. It's regarding the minerals we centrally store in our clans for the purpose of building and upgrading clan buildings. Will there be mechanics where the central storage can be distributed back to the clan members since we've upgraded everything to the highest level? Can you get them back?
Short answer, not at the moment. and I don't really like the idea behind it, but I like more the idea of introducing more buildings and also the clan rates we have talked briefly about. That will make
Yeah.
sense. Like
So
to add more use cases for the storage that you have rather than distribute it back.
the problem is that it's never been designed for anything like that, right? So we would have had to be much more cautious with this, with, for instance, a bank, if we had planned anything like that ever. But then again, we should also do something about some clans having too many resources in their banks, I guess. Um, this is an interesting one by Master Shin as well. It has been hanging around. Didn't someone argue with math the value of coal was effectively zero at one point? I don't know
It was a
whether.
one point. Remember we did, but then we did a couple of blends, and we also did the Christmas hunt, in which close to 4K Christmas red NFTs were minted, and so the value of coal actually increased a lot. We will have to check right now if it is zero again. But after we did the event of the Christmas red, it was not zero. It actually
Well,
increased the price.
it. I mean, there you can always do some math when there's an item that's purchasable from the shop and blah blah blah, that the coal there doesn't matter. But this is proof, like the Christmas wreath kind of thing, is proof that it always has value, even if it's currently low. But there's always gonna be something that you need it for, where suddenly it's limited, right? Or suddenly there's a greater than zero price to it or value to it. So I would not discard coal entirely, even if sometimes it feels like it's abundant, right? But I guess if we introduced an item that everybody needs, that costs 50,000 coal, right, that would use up everybody's coal really quickly.
I have an idea for it, but we need to. I mean, the shop changes are ready, but we need to implement them in our dashboard for us to be able to fully control them. Actually, you can now bulk buy all the NFTs in the shop. Did you see it?
I haven't, but apparently Sugar Queen Janice has, because she was mentioning this. But I personally haven't seen it myself yet, but because I haven't been buying anything. Janice has mentioned this.
Also, guys, if you didn't know, we made an announcement that we are going to increase the price of the Rarity Bombation because tariffs from Trump has been hitting hard, so we need to balance the Rarity Bombation packs.
So, are they actually coming from China? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
So,
You know what has happened to me? I don't know. I want to ask you guys so I can get to know if it is happening to more people. Haven't you been receiving like more TikToks or viewing more TikToks about these Chinese factories that they claim that they create and they craft all the products for these famous companies, and that they can send it to you for like 1/3 of the price? Or is it only me? I want to know.
I'm not on TikTok.
I am on TikTok. In the shop instead. Okay, yes, we already implemented it.
Even Clash of Clans has the alchemist guy that converts resources. There's a daily limitation to that. Having a cap or limitation to anything whenever it's released is great, I suppose. Yep.
I want to play Clash of Clans again. Have you ever played it?
5 minutes. I was a Clash Royale guy. And then after I had played Clash Royale, I tried Clash of Clans, but it never caught me.
I think I played it like 10 years ago. I reached the maximum town hall, and then I grew up. But Clash of Clans was a very good game.
I mean, it was the foundation for everything Supercell, and they're so massively successful with their games. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment I was playing, you needed to spend $300 per day to be within the top
Per day.
per day.
Wow. But coming back to Rising Dragon's comment here, I think it's from a principle perspective, it's a good idea to basically, whenever new things come out, to limit that, right, and then to open up there.
I challenge you to best of 3 1v1 friendly match, Adrian. In what?
In Clash
Clash Royale.
But I haven't played in like 4 years. So, when did they introduce level 14 for cards? Because that's when I stopped. I had just upgraded my deck plus maybe 2-3 other cards entirely to level 13, so I could be somewhat competitive. And then they made the update to level 14, and I was like, nah, fuck it. I'm not gonna grind this way up, because I never felt like I want to spend hundreds or thousands of dollars to actually level up my cards, right? I think that's kind of, yeah, it's okay for people who want to be like real competitive. One of my favorite streamers used to be a German Clash Royale pro. It was super fun, but
Adrian played War Alliance for a while, but he got traumatized after I owned him so many times and stopped playing. That's a bold claim.
Yeah.
Did he really, quote, own you?
So I'm going to give you
a yes or no answer.
The diplomatic answer, and this is, I let Matt win.
Oh my god. Yeah, it's towards the Morales company, right?
As the CEO, you can't just dominate everything.
I see some banter over here, like you feel when we play LOL. I actually want to play a 1v1 against Pedro.
What? They have level 15 cards now. They call them elite level, and you technically get level 16 cards with a new Tar Troop or with the Max Mirror card. A lot has changed now. I opened my Clash of Clans account after almost a year today. There's no time limitation to training troops these days. Okay. No, I don't know if I want to get back into this then. Ooh.
Take a look at this. On famous people in crypto, Mark Andreessen is my boss's father-in-law.
Yeah, counts. That's his wife's father. Yeah, totally.
So people know famous people. That's nice.
Yeah. Mark Andreessen is cool. He's a cool guy.
I will say I own Adrian Creon, but I'm not sure if he will reply my DMs if I send him one.
Typically not.
No, so it doesn't count.
Not if you send non-work related stuff.
I'm never on that lot. I think this can only be solved in a stream, and you have to 1v1 each other.
Oh, yes, totally. 24-hour LOL stream.
But I know Matt's strength is Counter-Strike.
Really?
Yes, he's good at Counter-Strike.
I didn't know that. I generally suck at competitive games.
The most famous person is Adrian for me. Which is the most famous person I know in crypto?
You know a lot of people from the Solana space, don't you?
I know, yeah. I know a lot of people from Jupiter. I know. But for them to reply at the end for me, I guess it is Dr. Richard from Huma Finance. He will reply at the end for me.
Chris Paradox knows Webby.
Well, Webby is also a very nice. You know me, Santiago.
So the kids are back. They were, it's still school holidays, Easter holidays this week. They went grocery shopping, so it was very quiet for a moment, but now they're back. So there might be some more background noise here as well.
I knew Misting Crypto. She's pretty famous. I also know Mew from Jupiter, but I don't know if he will reply at the end to me.
Final Fantasy MTG cards, I guess, are the official destination of my paycheck for Pedro. Don't tell my wife. She may be watching this, Pedro.
It should be Pokemon cards. No, have you seen the crazy stuff that has been going on with people collecting the Pokemon cards?
Like what?
People are buying them all. I mean, it feels like they are popular again, and people are buying them and collecting them again.
They've always been popular.
They were not as popular as right now. They have become a trend on TikTok, even that they are opening packs on live, and you can buy your own pack, and they open it live.
But
Pokemon
it's been going on for a few years.
I knew Agent K. Agent K was nice. I also know Manolo.
Have you seen the One Piece card game? I haven't. I'm honestly not very interested in trading card games outside of Magic.
Hearthstone.
I have to be interested in Pokemon, but I think that the game itself, it sucks a little bit compared to Magic. But then again, Magic got so diluted with all these collabs that now I don't know anymore. So maybe it would be about time. But then again, I've never been into One Piece that much. So
You know which game has been very fun? It's called Repo. It just came out 1 month
Ripple,
ago.
like
Repo.
blockchain.
REPO.
Ripple. Okay.
Yes. It's about like some robots, and you have to like collect stuff from an old house, and you have to hide from monsters and not make noise, but it's so fun. If you manage to play it with friends, it's so fun.
Crazy. There's so many things going on. If I had no kids, I would have so much time. Did any of you check the UI of the site user in your face?
I saw it.
I haven't. I didn't have the time, or probably it wasn't a priority.
What is Gundam? I had to ask.
No idea. No idea.
You know, I missed the Funko drop about Avatar. I wanted to buy it.
You can
But
buy
I
them
missed
off the secondary market.
No, it is expensive. I wanted to get Avatar Roku, but I missed it.
What it was?
I'll Google what is Gundam. Gundam.
Yeah, this one, Rising Dragons. We are the generation who will always miss Freddy Funko. That's Freddy. Freddy from Dungeon Master. Dungeon Master Freddy. There was also a question from about 45 minutes ago by I take off my pants and jacket. What happened to allowing creators to adjust the MP of a collection? Like I look at something like Twitchy Tides and I see really rare fish are nothing in MP, the same MP as common fish.
Actually, it's pretty simple. Like, Matt sends an update sheet every mid-season and every end of the season.
But that's not it.
Oh,
This is about the creator portal that still is in its infancy from an implementation perspective. But also it's about fairness in MP, and the formula that we've been using is definitely not good. So we need to rework that. But that would mean an update on all of the MPs of all third-party collections, which might actually be pretty cool, right? So I will have to show you, Santiago, where it is, what it does, and how it works, and then you tell me if you want to update that, because I think it's totally it's totally right that a lot of these old collection MPs are wrong, based off of the. It's a formula that's based off of the scarcity of the template, right? But we've never ever updated this since Dungeon Master came out. It's always been the same formula, and I think we should rehaul that. So there's two things, right? The creator portal, which currently is not the highest priority, to be honest, but we can discuss this with Santiago and basically have an official answer to that.
I'll
But
love
then
to check
there's
it
the
out.
what do we do with MPs in general?
I love it. Have you guys started to work on leaks? Yes. We are already finishing the concept phase, so we can start implementation. As we said, the aim is not really we cannot make miracles, so it cannot be really for season 25, but we aim to implement it on season 26.
It's also a change that's at the heart of the game.
It's a huge change.
It's simple, but not simple. Okay, so Gundam was big when Master Shin was in elementary school. It was big in the 90s and
maybe I'm too
early
young.
2000s.
That's the issue.
Well, I don't know. It never was a thing really. More MP in general.
Did anyone talk about the guy who sneaked into top 10 out of nowhere? Was he able to run when the Dungeon Master was done for a day? Yes, that's the answer. He was able to run during the whole day. How did he even manage to get into top 10 when he wasn't even close? Because we distribute an amount of points daily. If people didn't run during that day because of the problem that was generated, then the people that were able to run will get the most of that pool. And if he ran the most and he took advantage of it, then good for him.
It's still funny how this can have such a big impact, right?
Yes.
That one single day, so that's the 43rd of the entire season. And then let's imagine this person got the majority of the prize pool for one day. So you would have had to get 80% of the prize pool for a day. Yeah, quite possible, actually.
What's happening lately on Wax blockchain? It's a huge usage of CPU.
Cool.
Maybe I'm not doing too many transactions, but I haven't felt it. Could be though.
What do you mean with lately?
You know where I have found a lot of CPU usage? On EOS. I staked $30 worth of EOS, and I wasn't able to sign a transaction.
So that feels like 2018 again.
So expensive, like $30.
But you don't stake EOS to get CPU anymore. It's like it's
you use Power Up. Yeah, I guess you use
and
Power
it's
Up.
fair actually. So no, Daniel, I have no idea what you mean because I haven't experienced any CPU spikes. But if you maybe if you mean lately, today, within the last few hours, whatever.
With 300 wax stake, I do like 5-6 transactions.
But 300 wax nowadays is just $2. It feels too bad.
This is a good question, a very good one. Why do you seem to have issues with maintaining resources and balances to allow automated transactions going? Daily I see people saying things like chest payouts or chest NFTs are happening. Are you there?
Yeah. I gave the answer a few weeks ago, maybe last week or the week before. So we used to originally keep a lot of crypto resources, like whatever, let's say EOS, Wax, whatever, on all kinds of accounts when we were basically assuming that the price of them was stable or would go up, right? But because of these fluctuations, we basically balance everything in a way where it's generally scarcer. So sometimes we would run out because some of the alerts have been failing and these kinds of things. But so generally want to improve on this, but at the same time we're trying to mitigate the exposure that we have towards any one of these assets. Because, for instance, when we originally just to give you an example, when we originally implemented Wax in Wombat and we wanted to provide free transactions, we staked a lot of Wombat. We staked a lot of Wax. We bought Wax because we didn't have any. We bought Wax at what, 40 cents back then?
40 cents.
Right? And we had to basically buy whatever, a few 100,000 Wax so that we could provide for free transactions. So we've lost a lot of money on this, right? Effectively, because we bought those Wax. So in the end, it doesn't really matter. But so that's kind of where our management, crypto management is not entirely flawless. This is when it happens.
What happened with OnePlay payout on Friday? Was there a problem?
No, there was the payout was normal. The payout went normal. There were some high level players who got banned throughout this. So that we had a big discussion internally about some people exploiting weaknesses, loopholes in some games. In one game particularly, which we solved. But there was a big discussion internally about some people exploiting this and whether or not they, for a few weeks already, right? Them being eligible to be banned or being eligible to get a payout and whatnot. So we fixed the situation with that game, but I won't say which one unless somebody brings it up. So some people got banned, and that was I think it. There was no big delay or whatever problem with the payout. Everybody was getting their payout. There was one thing. There was one thing that the new payout was only created on, or was basically set up only by Saturday morning, so our time. So you might not have seen the new payout, or it might have shown payout still in progress for a few hours, longer than usual.
Question from Daniel Angel. I saw on Atomic have a collection which has 3 badges, but you can't buy NFTs because owner it's flagged as a bot. Why NFTs are still available and have badges? If you tell us the name of the collection and you create a ticket, then we can get it sorted out. We actually have an insane guy right now that is handling all the tickets. It has been an amazing to see how all the tickets have been handled. I posted on Discord. It will be the best if you get to create a ticket so we can see it as soon as possible. Thank you so much. Or if you tell us the collection through here, we can take a look into it.
But I also don't understand why you can't buy NFTs if well, anyway, maybe
that's why I want to see the collection and see which is actually the problem. So if someone was complaining in Telegram about not getting paid out on Sunday, they were banned as the payouts had been completed at that time.
So I can never exclude any bugs, but the payout was definitely completed on Friday already, right? So if you didn't get your, if somebody who legitimately claims to not having received a payout, then either they got banned or it was a bug, so they should open a ticket.
check our Discord chat room AH chat. There are also screenshots. I have some time. Let's go to Playmind. You know, the first time we changed the logo, I had problems trying to find the Discord.
Just like half of the chat here. Yeah, so meanwhile, because chat is a little slow right now, that's not a complaint.
That's an interesting error message. Assertion failure with message. Transfer blocked. This account is flagged as a bot and is not allowed to transfer NFTs. Interesting. Okay, we will check it out. Thank you, man.
Yeah, very interesting. So anyway, we can already get on Twitchy Tides. I forgot to set it up before I started stream, so I left it at play with an AY. So exclamation mark play with AY to join this round of Twitchy Tides. Please type yes to confirm you're a human. I love these captchas.
Yes.
Not you. Yeah, not you.
Yes. I'm a
Yes,
robot.
Yes, I'm a robot. Yeah.
Have you tried to solve a captcha lately? Like, it is so annoying trying to solve the captchas for proving that you're not a bot. I hate it.
The most annoying ones are the ones where you have to choose like three, click the ones with a bicycle or with traffic lights or whatever. And then when you have to click the tiles, I feel, being a mathematician, maybe I feel it's dramatically underspecified. If the description of the captcha says click everything that shows traffic lights, for instance, does that mean just the lights, or like everything around the lights? And do you count the pole of the
there's
lights?
a small corner in which you see a fraction
Exactly.
of the...
Does that count as well? And
Yeah.
you feel so insecure, and it makes you it just makes you feel like crap every single time you have to solve them, and you feel dumb because you don't know what they actually mean. There's no rules anywhere for these goddamn captchas.
True.
So it just
I don't feel
diminishes
confident about telling
my
the
confidence.
story, but the founder of Duolingo was the one that implemented the first captchas, and he did it in a very genius way, because what he did is he wanted to train models, so he was able to transcribe all the news articles from the New York Times over to digital. So for him to do that, he implemented this captcha, and he offered it as a solution for companies, for users to be able to answer and prove they are not bots. And at the same time, he was training his systems to be able to recognize and pass all these New York newspaper pictures into digital. That's very interesting. Who will
In general,
represent
they're just
an NFTopia?
labor. That would typically be Olga, but I don't know. I haven't spoken to her about it.
When is the NFTopia?
I don't know. Probably soon, if people are bringing this up.
The bike and traffic lights ones are training machine vision. August 16, 17. Do we have a spot there? We have the puzzler here.
We have. I think we've always been part of NFTopia. Maybe we missed one, but most of the time we've been there. Speaking about banning, was this for a game that's currently not able to be played right now? like because it's on season break. If we played this game because Wombat got us into the game, giving us free stuff, then IMX came out. We've been playing it since. And casually, are we going to run the chance of being banned because of it? Wasn't trying to be an outlaw playing the game, but I didn't. The points were well, yeah. So the everybody got unbanned again, right? So like all of the people who got banned in the process during Friday got unbanned again. So that's not kind of a hey, we don't like you anymore or whatever kind of thing, but it's they got automatically flagged because of unusual behavior, and apparently some of these accounts, not saying everyone, but some of these accounts actually farmed a lot of Wombucks, and then they redeemed the Wombucks, and this is where it becomes sort of problematic, right? Because if there's a loophole in Wombucks where there's whatever, let's say season break or whatever, something that we haven't seen when we set up the game, right? Which is not always, it's not always possible to see everything. And then there's loopholes in the setups of particular games, then this might happen, right? So what would be cool is if you see something like that you just call it out, right? You just go on Discord and say, hey, Matt, whoever, Thiago, whoever it is, whoever is around, there is a problem with this game. It basically gives you 10,000 Wombucks every single time you make a click, right?
I'm tired of winning so much. Please help.
Yeah, but I mean, this is fair because obviously what happens is you're not taking money from us, right? You're taking money away, or anyone who basically uses this loophole, and some people do that on purpose, they're taking money from everybody else because we have this competitive prize pool, right? And this is where it becomes really annoying that some people are basically just knowingly exploiting this and just farming millions over millions of Wombucks. And then this is not fair. And then some people in our team, they would say, hey, this is not fair, so it's under our discretion to actually just ban them and exclude them from the cash out and stuff. So sometimes we have to make decisions like this. It's never pleasant. It's never a good discussion, right? Because there's a lot of emotions in the team about these kinds of things. So that's when we always have to find kind of a compromise there. Yeah, something like this, right? Rising Dragons. This is always very much appreciated, and there might be a bounty for this, right? We never say, hey, if you report something like that, we'll get you XYZ, but there might be a little prize or a little gift, a little bounty for this, and so yeah, be a good guy. I like this one. Be a good guy. Be like Webby.
Webby. What does Webby mean? Like, why did you choose Webby?
I could probably take an educated guess, but I won't.
Bug Hunter Entity 1. That's a good one. Yeah, we
right?
could create
and this
like
would
that.
have massive. This could have massive MP, like 10 or something like this,
like 10
or 10K.
like 10. So I don't know why that made me laugh.
So you weren't there, Santiago, but Webby broke speed, right? The problem was in defining what speed did, so how speed is supposed to be interpreted is if you increase your speed by 100%, then it takes you half the time to actually make the run, right? Because this is what speed does. If you drive 100, then you need an hour. Then if instead you drive 200, let's say miles per hour, then it takes you half an hour, right? Normal math. But how we had defined it is as reduction of your speed time, of your run time, right? So if you had 50%, this would reduce your runtime by 50%. And if you had 100%, this would reduce your runtime by 100%. So basically to zero.
My God.
And Webby was the first one upgrading an item so that it would give you more than 100%.
like only clicking. Like, run,
Exactly.
run.
For 1 or 2 or 3 days, I don't know, until we actually had the problem fixed, Webby was doing infinite runs essentially. So I got basically the entirety of the prize pool for the day. Yeah, it was the RoboMole level 5. Yeah.
Maybe did one day runs all day and spamming.
This is how speed was supposed to work, but somewhere in between coming up with the idea and putting this into code, this interpretation got lost, and it was
happens.
the other way
It
around.
happens. Can happen.
And exactly, this was before Stamina. Although Stamina wouldn't have done anything to Webby because even if your runs take 4 times as long, who cares? they have negative duration anyway.
He was still clicking. So because of Webby, we cannot have nice things. No, I'm kidding.
To be very clear, this was not Webby's fault.
No, I know.
It was our fault. It was we implemented crap. It's just the way it was.
Guys, exclamation mark play if you want to play Twitchy Tights. I cannot believe we are 137 people and only 37 players. Like, come on.
It's because so many people are watching us on Twitch. On X.
Yeah, but still on Twitch. Oh, we have 58. Yeah, we should be at least 50.
Nah, I think it's okay.
Webby was here.
Webby was here, right?
Yes. Hand shoes entities.
And there we go. The stamina gel. What's going on with this one? You and I spoke about it very, very briefly last week. So what's going on with
we are working on the formula. I think. Well, now that we're having another dev that might be able to help us, maybe we can deliver the leaks and the stamina gel updates at the same time. But stamina gel will be so nice if we have leaks.
So how would
stamina gel 1 BTC
in price or in how much you get for it? Yeah. Handschuh, please.
What is that?
Okay. So Handschuh is the German word for glove, and that's
for love.
That's why Prince Paradox is writing handshoes. So, sorry, it's only funny when you're German. A handschuh, yeah, a handschuh is a shoe for a hand. It's basically what you put on your hand, and so it's a glove.
Oh,
it's just hilarious when you read the English translation, the literal translation.
German is so weird.
Wow, look at this, the VIP 8 reward. You get 10. But is that it? Is that it? That's all you need? That's all you get? I mean, on top
like
of
everything. Stamina gel?
Okay, deal. But 10 million wombat is also not a lot over 5 million that you have for level. So
actually, we have a nice idea for the stamina gel. APR, it's good anyway.
Okay. So what's your idea on the gels, Santiago? Do you want to talk about it or do you want to not talk about it?
I think we should not talk about it until having it clear.
Because some people might be trading those leftover.
No, don't do it yet. Don't do it yet. No, guys, no, please not. But they're not a lot, right? Like 200.
Nah. I don't know where they are. Actually, I haven't checked. But I always like when these things are NFTs.
I have yellow phobia.
I always like when these things are NFTs, and then the market can find out what a fair price for them is. Okay, now I need to check. Sweep the floor. We deactivated the redemption in the game as well, so it's even if you have them, can't use them. Plus, there's no guarantee that it's going to be the same item, same template. I don't know. I can't find it right away.
526 RAM chips have been sold.
So, what's going on with the Mob Wombatians?
That's what I was taking a look at right now. Oh my god, what did you do?
What did who do?
My dog is black. What did you do? It is still raining here, so they are all muddy.
Online Jalza is proposing more VIP levels 8, 9, 10 instead of packs at extra gear slots.
Don't touch me.
Or sidekicks. Oh, that's actually quite nice. Extra gear slots and sidekicks for VIPs level 8, 9, 10. Oh, that's nice.
Fancy.
Like a wild card or some sort. Or only or hand shoes. Hand shoes, like gloves, for what else could we do? What else could be equipment slots? We used to have the idea of vehicles. Nice.
How much is VIP 7 now? I'm not sure.
5,000 wombat. You need to stake. 5 million wombat, of course. Not 5,000. 5 million wombat you need to stake.
I guess they were asking in USDC. Or not sure.
Yeah, so that's about $1,000. Have you guys reduced the amount of players per clan? Before it was 6 plus 44, I think. Now it's 6 plus 35. I can't remember.
It's 6 plus 35 right now, but
was ever changing this since we increased it to 6.
I haven't touched it, at least me.
So how many members does Wombastic have?
That's a good one.
1 plus 40. Okay, so that's 6 plus 35. Okay, let's start this round of Twitchy Tides, and let's do the usual. Top 5 players get a pack, get a box, a promo box, and the best player with a wombat gets another one. So we got only 2 people with a wombat right now.
Let's run.
Now, anyway, we got 42 players. We could let this run a little longer. So let me set this to not so fast.
So I'll choose. Who do you think is going to win? I think Online Jalsa is going to win.
Okay. I think Mr. Teddy.
Okay, Mr. Teddy.
Okay, let's go. You have a 1 in 42 chance. So what happens if you guessed right or I guessed right?
You have to shave. And I have to get bald.
Well, I won't shave. But good thing.
I did a bet.
Online Jalsa is still there. Oh no.
Actually, I'm pretty worried about a bet I did with a friend. Because I bet with him that Real Madrid is not going to perform a comeback with Arsenal. They lost 3-0 last game.
Yeah. So
Where
they
is
won't.
Chelsea? Don't tell me. Oh no, she lost. So guys, you have to root for Arsenal the next game because otherwise I'll be bald.
It's gonna be fun though. Now everybody's gonna be rooting for Real. Oh, I haven't seen those yet.
London is red. Yes, it is. Aaron is not. I cannot grow bird. It's impossible.
But even if Santiago grew a beard, I wouldn't shave.
We have some interesting games, guys. If you like soccer, then Champions League is interesting right now.
NBA is interesting right now. Actually, yesterday was the last day of regular season, right? So the regular season is over. Now there's going to be the
Playoffs?
play-ins and then the playoffs, and it's just going to be really exciting. So we've got Lexilex, Forest Slayer, Jeff, Jamie Penguins, and Ginteri with the usual, and then we've got Pedro.
Mr. Teddy was 14.
So did I win?
No.
Because Online Jalza was only 18th.
No.
My horse won.
Your horse didn't win. It was the best out of the worst. No one trusted Lexi.
What?
That no one trusted Lexi could win.
It's not about couldn't. It's about picking somebody at random.
I trust Lexi.
I do as well.
I would like it to have some kind of these games, but with actually some strategy behind it.
So that's not Witchy Tides?
No, there's no strategy.
Well, there is. You can do all these extra special moves, right? Make the game.
There's one. I don't remember. It is about go-karts. Let me check.
Go-karts?
Yes. Give me a second.
Everything related to go-karts is always fun.
I'm cooking.
Like Mario Kart.
Let me cook.
But it would be so cool if there were so many small games that would interact with dungeon items and wombat and whatnot, right? Where you could do things with it. There's got to be more. Duck races is fun. Duck races, something like that, right? Wombat races, something like that.
Wombat racers.
Yes.
We could have poker nights. I don't know how to play poker, actually.
You don't?
No.
We need like Mario Party level.
Smash cards. It is called Smash cards.
Smash cards. Okay. Yeah, you can learn it with Marklar.
Okay, we can do it next stream. You don't know poker? No problem. Bring some money and I'll teach you.
Oh.
What card
games do you know how to play?
I mean, there's one here called Cuarenta, but I'm 100% sure you don't play it. Do you even know the ranking of the best hands in poker? No, I don't know. I have to learn from zero.
Oh my goodness.
Cinquillo.
Yeah, that's what they say. I used to actually make decent money back in the day in the 2000s when you were still allowed to play, like the Europeans were allowed to play against the US Americans and I would always get up Saturday, Sunday mornings, and it was late evening for the Americans. So you could always play. Some of them were tired or drunk or whatever, right? And it was very easy money. I would play up to maybe 32 tables.
Nice.
On PokerStars. Some of them had limits, right? So some of the online poker skins you could only play like 9 tables or whatever. But I would mostly play short stack, short stack cash games, and then they stopped short stacks. Most of the poker sites they disallowed short stacks, so I never wanted to play mid stack strategy. And then I moved to sit and goes, 9-handed, typically full ring sit and goes, and this was a lot of fun. So cool. And that money actually ended up in my first Bitcoin investment in 2013. My poker money. That's the long story of Full Tilt Poker going belly up Black Friday. Essentially, my money was locked at Full Tilt, few $1,000s. Then when this got released after PokerStars acquired Full Tilt, this was the money that I used to buy Bitcoin at $90 in 2013.
Interesting.
Yeah. How's everyone today been? Too long. These streams happen during work time. Maybe we should stream later in the day, not taverns, but in general. I mean, for Santiago, it's morning, right? Yeah, for some people, it might actually be better.
We could play League of Legends, and I can beat you.
Need a before work stream from you. So, like when we did the infamous 24-hour stream.
You did a 24-hour stream. That's cool.
Yeah, Matt, Olga, and I shared the 24 hours. So everyone did 8 hours straight. Oof. And so I basically started with the tavern, and then this turned into 8 hours of nonstop streaming. And then I think Olga did the night shift.
What did you do during 8 hours?
What did we do? I had guests, actually. So that was the most important thing for me, that it was Dirk from Upland came over. I think Juan from Nefty was there. And it's like, so that was the best thing for me, that I had some guests. Oh no, Matt did the night shift. Sorry, yeah. Sorry.
You made a playlist, nice.
We made playlists on Spotify with like metal and rock songs, and it was a lot of fun. We played some
Cisco. Nice.
I think we played some Encryptia as well. Pretty sure.
Okay, so let's do this. Whenever we launch play, we gotta do a 24-hour stream. Like whenever dust is settled.
Yeah, dude, that's exactly the point, right? Whenever the dust settled, yeah, sure. That's why I was gonna say let's do it before that, like if at all, if ever at all, and then we should do it before, not or this.
Dude,
we do it by yourself.
No, I will. I don't know.
But I will have to run because I have a hard stop in 5 minutes. 24-hour launch party. I won't have the time.
I can be there. I can try to do something to make something work out with Matt. If he's down
Matt's gonna be so into this, doing another night shift.
George,
okay, folks, I need to run. So, but who do you want to raid today?
You just broke my brain. Adrian streamed the for match party, you think?
Do you have any plans for Easter in terms of?
I was reading that.
Plans?
I mean, being honest, no. But let me cook something today, and maybe we can drop out something cool for you guys.
You have to learn how to sell that better.
Guys, I have been thinking about something during
You
weeks
have
for you.
been working on it tirelessly, and it's going to be released this week, right for Easter.
I want. Well, I mean, the problem is I'm not very religious, so Eastern is about.
Doesn't matter.
So yeah, I
People,
haven't found something out of it because I don't know when is Eastern. We don't.
well,
I
you have a
have to
day
work
off on
something
Friday.
out. When is Eastern?
Easter is on
April
Sunday.
20. Oh, it's in 6 days?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I can work something out then. But we will have to drop it on Monday. Or Sunday 20 if you want to keep consistency.
Nah, let's do it this week. Come on.
Or this week. Okay, this week.
Yeah.
You'll have something, guys.
Okay. Cool. So let's rate Quadral. Cool. All right. I don't know what Quadral's playing. It sounds quite cool. It's one of the engine games.
Oh, that's interesting idea. Okay, I'll think about something.
Okay, we'll go on the raid. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Santiago, for joining me on stream.
Thank you, Adrian.
Mob X. Mob X. Mob X. Yeah.
I like the idea.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. Say hello to Quadral. And see you later this week or next week. And have a nice Easter in case. Right. I wanted to say that Monday is typically a day off in Germany. So we might actually move the stream to Tuesday. But let's see. I'm not entirely.
Am I having vacations? Yay.
No, that's not what I said. All right. Enjoy, everyone.
See you guys. Thank you.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
No vacations for you.